Hi, it's that time again for Route 10, the show where you learn so much more about your country, Barbados, through the parish of St. Philip.
We are liming at the East Point Barn Grill near the East Point Lighthouse, which we were told about last week. This week, our resident expert on St. Philip, Addinton Forde, is going to tell us about the St. Philip Parish Church, an Anglican church located in Church Village.
This is a St. Cotton tree. They're massive trees and well-known trees. It gives off some capsules that split into a lot of silky hairs called kapok. The problem with these trees is that they bear every few years, not every year. And when they bear, because it's such a massive tree, they drop carpets of the kapok off it. And then, of course, because they're little fine hairs, and they blow about in the wind, and some people have allergies, and they make people a little miserable until they stop. It's a good song that absorber. I use for acoustic insulation in aircraft. It's a good buoyant thing that we use in life preservers. You could also use it stuffing for beds and so on, but it said that because of something associated with spirits and so on, that is not a wise thing because you don't get a comfortable sleep. This is St. Philip Churchyard, and there's supposed to be some behind the grandstand at the garrison and one or two other places. It's got to be at least 100 years old. The structure we have here is the fourth structure to occupy this general area. The first one, recorded one, was in 1640. Not much is known about it, but it was destroyed by a hurricane in 1780. They rebuilt it in 1786. Similarly, it was destroyed 45 years later in a great hurricane which struck the island on the 11th of August, 1831. They built a third building, and they consecrated it along with the burial ground on the 20th of October that year and so on by Bishop William Hart Coleridge, after whom Coleridge Street is named and Coleridge Parish School. That third building burned down, lasted 140 years too, and got burned down in 1977. It was the result of a campfire that went out of control. They tried to rebuild it, not as close as possible. Of course, the roof now is metal, but before it would have been a wooden roof. And they try to rebuild it as close as possible. What survived in this church is the early records. The record of baptism is 1648. The first marriages appeared in 1672. And some of the names that we have, they no longer exist. Names like Boom, Bullock, Cleopold, Dinsey, not Disney, Dinsey, Higginbotham, Campbell, Parnell, Stoley, and Usher. Some of the other names with kind of different spellings would be Barrow and Brooks and Cozier and Eswick, Fortescue, Ince, Curtin, Robinson, Morrill, Skeet, and Taylor. This is the Parish Church, and one of 4 Anglican churches.
Darren, did you hear those names? Those names are names that we are accustomed to, just that they're spelled differently. But Higginbottom? Still, St. Philip Parish Church is one of the most impressive landmarks in our parish.
One of many landmarks. And remember, to experience these landmarks for yourself, book your seat on the Route 10 Scenic Bus Tour. Now, in our first episode, we learned what Paddy shot at.
Yes.
Last week was a wedding that ended in a total catastrophe. This week, Scrappy is about to tell us about the mysterious rock stones.
These are true stories about ordinary and not so ordinary St. Philip folk. And all of these stories happened in the parish of St. Philip.
On the outskirts of the fishing village of Bayfield in St. Philip, they got a cart road leading towards Blades Hill. And they got some houses lining the cart road on both sides. But for this particular incident, which occurred during the early 1950s, this was concentrated on 2 houses in particular. Out of a clear blue sky, and this time literally, stones started raining down on these houses. The stones came from a nearby cane field on the other side of the Cat Road and were described as hefty and as being lily white, which was unusual, since the stones in the cane field are stained from the soil, and the nearest coral stone quarry was about a half-mile away at Fortescue. The stones flew through the air fast, and with a regularity which indicated that whoever threw them had more than ordinary strength. A curious crowd gathered together, and it was also noticed that there was a pattern in the stone throwing. It continued for several minutes. Then it stopped for a short time, then continued again in almost measured time. It was so predictable that people wanted to pass. All they had to do was to wait until the lull and make a run for it. After the stones were falling for a while, some of the young men, daring young men I should say, in the crowd, they entered the cane fields to search for the thrower of these missiles. They searched practically every square inch of the field and could find nothing on nobody who could be throwing such stones. Yet, to the amazement of everybody, the stones came flying through the air, even as the young men were in the cane field searching. This mysterious stone throwing went on for a few days, until one day a woman asked the residents of the two houses, "Anyone know what the coolie man?" In one of the houses lived an elderly woman, and in the other lived her daughter and grandson. And sure enough, they admitted that the grandson had owed the itinerant vendor a sum of money and refused to pay him. "Well, if when I pay the money, all of this stone throwing will stop." The family scraped together the money, settled the debt, and as soon as it had been settled, the stoning stopped immediately.
The mysterious rock stones. One of those stories that make you go, To read more of these amazing and true stories, and I assure you they're true, be sure to purchase your copy of the St. Philip book, written by G. Addinton Forde.
More on Route 10.
Well, I would say from primary school, I probably would have been one of the, I guess you'll say one faster boys at that stage, but it was always a conflict with cricket, because cricket was my first love, I must say.
I remember they had at school something called a horse comb.
Horse comb.
Yeah.
Oh.
And a horse comb was a big, thick comb that could defy any knot that a boy could bring to school.
You met professional athlete Greg Swift. Now, meet track legend Seibert Straughn.
Well, I grew up in Eastbourne, which is surrounded by Long Bay, Bell House. And I guess I go as far as Lane Cheese, where my grandparents would have lived in Lane Cheese. Well, I would say from primary school, I probably would have been one of the, I guess you'll say one faster boys at that stage, but it was always a conflict with cricket, because cricket was my first love, I must say. I think athletics interest would have, I think, would be in the importance of my aunt Yorlan Straughn, who would have been born in Barbados, most outstanding sprinters, I think, female athletes ever. I guess law school history is quite interesting, because I would have had some serious battles with Matt Fingal and the likes of like Ras Eiley and Michael Juice, who would have saw my talent at law school and who was encouraging me to be an athlete. But my love was in cricket. When I think would have been in fourth form, where I realized that I had the talent. And I said, look, you might love cricket, but it's always a lot tougher to get on a cricket team, because a lot of people can make a cricket team, but if I put more emphasis and the focus on track and field, it comes from me. And so I think that was a turning point for me in terms of making that change safe and being more serious about moving from cricket to athletics. I went to Murray State University in Kentucky, where I would have been the elder statesman to the likes of Terry Grover Hayward and Stephen Suzuki Roberts and Wade Payne and Ronald Concord Turn. These guys would have been junior to me, and we would have had experiences of running at the Texas games together as a team. and also at the CAC games in Mexico, where we would have won a silver medal. But the four young lions is really the Wade Pays, the Ronald Turn, the Stephen Roberts, and the Terry Grover Harewood. I would have been just the leader of the pack at that time. All of these guys would have gone to university. I would have, both Stephen and Terry, we was part of the Murray State team, which we would have earned All-American honors. And Ronald would have gone to University of Florida, and Wade would have gone to school in Alabama. And all of us would be college graduates. So I think that would have been a good achievement where all of us would have done well on the track, but also in the classroom. I mean, I'm so thankful for what the Lord has given me, the talent to be a good athlete and have done well for Barbados. We attended 2 Olympic Games is a good achievement, and also being the head coach of the team in 2004 with the likes of Bobby Thompson and Andrew Black, who are 2 legends in Barbados track and field. I think it's also prepared me for, I'm into my 22nd year now at Parish Church Foundation School, where we know the head of the department for the past 12 over a decade being head of department. I think it also prepared me to have a very strong marriage. This is my 22nd year of marriage to my wife, and to have a daughter who have graduated from UWI this year. And so those things I think have prepared me in terms of being able to guide not only myself but to assist my family and guide them in the right direction, so that so I can have a strong family unit. I am pleased that I have been able to achieve a lot of my goals, and I'm not 50 yet. I just want to advise the young people in general that if you got a talent, that try to get the right people around you that will guide you in the right direction to make you make positive decisions. Because to seek people who got good wisdom, that can help shape your life. Because you can win all the races on this earth, on the track. But if you do not got good support in terms of family, good coaches around you, if you don't go to school and learn well, you will just be remembered as someone who ran fast on the track, or who jumped far in the long jump, or who threw far in the javelin. 22 years at one institution is so a lot. And you could just imagine the thousands of boys and girls that would have come through my hand, where would have had a small or some kind of influence on their future. And when I walk the streets, or when I see them and we talk, to see that when they would have attended foundation school from first form, and when they're now productive citizens for Barbados and making outstanding contribution to this country, those kind of things make me feel real good about the contribution I've made as an educator. I am Seibert Straughn, and I'm a proud Philippine.
Here now, a community group from St. Philip.
When you're a boy, school don't be anything that you want to go to. You want to go running and playing and having good fun. But then you had parents who knew the value. And in those days when things were not plentiful and money scarce and food existed at various houses, the boys were more intent on getting to play and figure out who done cook. Boys used to go to Shrewsbury, and the girls went to Bayley's. And they used to call them elementary schools then, and we have grown to primary schools and so on. So yes, I went to Shrewsbury, although I lived next door to Bayley's school.
You had to show nails. Yeah. If they were dirty, you got to tap on them with the ruler?
Yeah.
Or you had to hide them behind your back.
I want to dwell on here a little bit, because what they're saying is also true and applicable. But I remember they had at school something called a horse comb.
Horse comb.
Yeah. And a horse comb was a big, thick comb that could defy any knot that a boy could bring to school.
But the boy said they're naughty, but...
And the thing is, you had to get more than one fella like a plow. You didn't just comb his hair, you had to plow his hair and break up those knots. And it took more power than one boy power, so 2 boys would pull the comb through his head while another one hold him. We would get to school with our nails clean. But then we had to pitch.
Yes.
And pitch took up dust. And the teacher would watch you pitching and admire your skill. And then beat you, although he see you down inside there playing in the dust in order to hit and spawn.
During that time we used to sing
all sounds about Britain because it wasn't independent yet. So we have a lot of Rule Britannia and
God bless our gracious
God bless it. Right.
And you get spirituals. Like I went to a river and I couldn't get across, sing Polly Wally do Lolly Day.
Right.
I jumped on a nigger that I thought was a horse. And we sang that. You know,
not knowing the real
and not following through on what we are doing to ourselves.
And worse still,
what was education doing to us? I mean, miseducation. Even although there were blemishes in the education system then, we have been able, through the same education, to grow.
Right, it was discipline, more discipline.
And think, and apply. And look for what is good for us and keep that. And what is bad for us, we toss out.
Being at Bayley's, it taught me how to pray because you prayed before you went to lunch. Whether you knew the prayer or not, but you had to repeat what until you knew it by heart.
Shrewsbury was never other than a boys' school because when Bayley's became co-ed, Shrewsbury became defunct. So that you came into a situation where now the school system, as far as we're concerned, is co-educational. And it would seem that the association's first objective towards the males and then towards the folks who return from overseas. So somebody raised the question that there probably are more women than men in any community in Barbados, and to leave them out would be to do a disservice. And so we branched off, changed the name to Shrewsbury Baileys. Usually it should be Baileys and Shrewsbury called ladies first. But since Shrewsbury was the initial thing, then we had to stick in Baileys. So it became the Shrewsbury. Let me look and see if I'm saying it right. The Shrewsbury Baileys Old Scholars Association.
Stay with us on Route 10.
I was just seeing, cliff and rock, and he was like, yeah, we got something out here. We got to do this, I'm like, well, if you see it, it probably could work. We will work with you.
We have some spare ribs here, some fish, and some chicken.
Welcome back to Route 10. During the show, you'll be seeing what the East Point Bar and Grill looks like on a Saturday. Who better to explain more than Ryan Critchlow?
Hi, how are you doing?
Thank you for having us, Ryan. I'm doing great. It's a great atmosphere here so far. The music, the food, the people.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been in operation?
Well, we've been in operation about a year and 5 months. Yeah, about that. Started in March of last year.
How exactly did you conceptualize the idea of East Point Bar and Grill?
Well, it was mainly the brainchild of Michael Hines. He came to me and told me he had an idea, and we came up here and we looked around and we saw the place, and we were like, at first it was like, what? Because I was just seeing, cliff and rock, and he was like, yeah, we got something out here. We got to do this. I'm like, well, if you see it, it probably could work. We will work with you. And we started to put it together and, made it happen.
Are there any other events you host here other than the Saturday and the Friday night limes?
We do birthday parties. We had a queue already more than once, two queues. We have something for New Year's Day, which is called First Light, which is done by Limerick Cruise. And then people come and do other little things in between. Country Sizzle, that's put on by Premier Events. Those type of things we do up here.
All right, how do you market your business? How can people contact you?
Oh, we are on social media. We have Facebook. We have a Facebook page. East Point Grill is the handle. We have Instagram.
Now, tell me about your menu.
The menu. Again, Michael Hines, who's the culinary director, he designed more of a gourmet menu, just to give Bajans a difference from the regular things that they have all the time. So you get your brisket, you get your ribs, you get pork, but everything is done on our smoker that you've seen over there. That smoker was brought in from Texas, all right? We bring the wood and everything to smoke it. Sometimes we use local woods like mahogany and casuarina to help give different flavors and stuff like that, right? So you get like Parmesan wedges. On Saturdays, we do put in sauce. On our Saturday limes, we also do roast breadfruit. you know, so that sort of stuff.
You said brisket. What is a brisket?
A brisket is just a cut of beef, the type of cut, and basically there's no bones, but when you cut it very thin, you know, the fat and the meat together gives it the flavor when you smoke it. It takes about 8 hours to cook, right? So you put it in the grill for about 8 hours and let it smoke, and then you get all the flavors coming out in it. It's really nice. Really
All right, so who's working your grill right now?
Andrew Nichols, he's our grill chef. He's the person who runs the grill at the moment.
All right, guys, we're going to move over and see what Andrew has for us in store on the grill. Hi, and welcome back to Route 10. We're here at the East Point Bar and Grill. Vanessa is off enjoying the lime and finishing her drink. I'm here with Grill Master Andrew. Let's go over and see what he has on the grill. What kind of meats do you have on the grill?
I have some tasty meats on the grill. In this section here, we have some pork chops. We have some spare ribs here, some fish, and some chicken. Right here.
Is this the regular menu? Does the menu change from the weekdays to weekends?
No, it doesn't. We have customers that come here to just ask for this every week. How's the brisket today? How's the pork today? How's the fish today? Can I have this? Can I have that? I'll be back next week. So basically the recipes and the menu stays the same. You just come here, Saturday is our busiest day, and do our stuff.
Along with the meats, what are the sides that you offer?
Well, we also have grilled potatoes, sweet potato fries, veggies. We have roasted breadfruit chips and stuff like that. Yeah.
I see you're putting the sauce onto the meat. Everyone knows the sauce is the real essence of the seasoning. Is there a special ingredient here at the East Point Bar and Grill?
Yeah, there is, yes and no. Our recipe calls for this secret thing called love and patience. We put the regular stuff, apple juice, sugar, caramelized the sugar, you know, to give it that extra boost and stuff like that, you know. But this was taught to me by the current director, Michael Hines, you know. He's very good at what he does. And I'm privileged to work for him. I have learned a lot. And I've been doing this for a while.
Now, explain to us why someone should take the drive if they're coming from a distant parish to East Point Bar and Grill.
It's just a blend. It's just togetherness again, the food and the scenery, the drinks, the staff members, the waitresses, and you know, it's just this. It's like you're at home with your friends on the block. You know, you just come, you just get away from everything. Then you realize the time. What? I've been here for the whole day. It's really nice. It's a really nice scenery to work and to just relax.
These are pre-prepared before you bring them onto the
grill?
grill?
Yes, they are, because what would happen if we had to do this on the grill from scratch? It would take something like 3 hours, 4 hours, and our beef brisket, which is our best seller here, that would take like 8 hours, which is my whole shift. So it would mean I have to come early in the mornings and prepare like from 5 o'clock so I can get it ready for the customers at 11. Okay, I'm about to give you here some nice meat and stuff. You have some brisket here and some ribs. Taste it and tell me if you will come back here again for more.
Well, of course, the main reason people do come back is for the food, Andrew.
That's true, that's true. Lovely rib here, huh?
I see it's glazed with the sauce.
Yes,
very, very attractive.
I'm going to put on some more here for you now, just a bit more, to give you that wow feeling. Here you go, sir.
All right. So I'm looking at it, it's very attractive, it's very appealing. The presentation is great. And now time to sample it. Okay, it's soft. I can definitely taste the seasoning. I can tell it's been pre-seasoned. I can taste the sauce, but most importantly, I can taste the grill. As Andrew stated, it's cooked with love. I can see it, I can taste it. It is lovely. And I must save some of this for Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, Darren.
I see you finished your drink and left none for me. Only because I promised to bring this for you. I brought it for you. This is some pork that Andrew prepared. He's a grill master. It's lovely. You must taste it. I can hear the music and we're at a full swing in our lime here at the East Point Bar and Grill. We had a great time today.
Yes, we did. We've come to the end. Like us on Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And view this program as well as others on our YouTube channel. Bye-bye.
See you next week.
It has, still has a beautifully preserved crane. We used to call them house.
Image is extremely important. I think you have to be easy on the eye.
When I dance, I feel free. I feel like it's just me and the whole world is not there.
Right now, we're just touching base with DJs, promoters, that kind of stuff, getting ready for when I do return in January, February to make the carnival run.